Good morning, children. How are you? I think you are preparing. I'm in ninth class social subject. Uh, we finished already second lesson, the natural realms of the earth. So you will go through the total videos. Afterwards, you can prepare a fair material and later you go to the textbook. So when I ask the questions, you can write answers. So in paper 1, 2 lessons over. In paper 2, from 12 to up to 24 is the history part, that is European history, ready to discuss right now. In history part, paper 2, the first lesson is chapter 12, that is changing culture and traditions in Europe. Changing culture and traditions in Europe. So we are going to discuss about European history. What that is? We are ready to discuss about European history, not Andhra Pradesh history, not Indian history, not surrounding nations history. European continent, important nations, those history we will discuss right now. What is that? Under European history, first of all we talk and discuss about England. Why? Because England occupied several nations, nearly 200 nations in the world, and it is a colonial power. So that's why we are going to discuss about the history of England first. What is the history of England? In India, you know that majority population belongs to agriculture. Agriculture farmers. So, majority of the population in India discuss about agriculture and allied works also. So, finally we say in England, majority of the population belongs to peasants or farmers. So, these farmers are controlled by the landlords. Here, farmers are doing lot of works. What are the works? So, they controlled by the landlords, and what the landlords give the cautions, they will follow. What cautions they will give? It means farmers are different, but here in England farmers are different. In Indian point of view, suppose farmer means going to agriculture work. Self agriculture land is there, means he will go for the own agriculture land, and afterwards if there is a free time he will go for the other labor work in the agriculture sector only. But in case of England, what is the position of a farmer? There farmers are known as serf. What is that? Farmers are known as equal to serf. Farmers are equal to serf. Serf means what activities they done, what the cautions, what the notice given by landlord they will do. It means they are doing number of works, including soldier works also. Suppose if there is a war, generally in ancient period or medieval period, what the landlords suggest, the farmers will follow. Suppose if there is a war happened between one landlord to another landlord between, then the war when starts between one landlord and another landlord, at that time who are the fighters, who are joining in the war? Only farmers. So, one side agriculture work, another side army activities or war activities done by the farmer. So that's why here farmers are known as serf. So, but they are paying little bit wages only, little bit money only, little bit food only they supply. So that's why in 1300 onwards, the culture in England was changed. 1300 onwards, the culture in England was changed. They know what the facts and they are ready to protest or fight against the landlords. So finally in England 1381 AD, serfdom was ended and landlords gave the lands to the poor peasants. So serfdom completed and closed here and new system was started. And here in European history, so we discussed about the England. In European history, European historians classified the European history into different parts. What are that? Ancient period. What is that? Ancient period. Ancient period in European history, that is up to 400 AD. It means 0 to 400 AD ancient history. 0 before 0 also under comes. European history, that is ancient period. It means Incas ancient history, like this. And medieval period 400 AD to 1300 AD. This is the most important term, medieval period. And early modern period. Early modern period, here one is missed. Modern period. Modern period means 1300 AD to 1800 AD is modern period. Early modern period means 1800 to present. We are going to discuss about the main important thing is modern period, that is a pre-modern period, 1300 AD to 1800 AD. What the thing was happening in Europe, we will ready to discuss here. So, first of all, we discuss about European history. Under that, we discuss about the important thing, that is in European history, the famous empire is Roman Empire. What empire? Roman Empire. Roman Empire is a very famous empire. Roman Empire was flourished up to 400 AD. Afterwards, the Roman Empire was declined by number of attacks made by the other strong empires came from Central Asia or Turusk. So, Roman Empire was declined. After 400 AD. Up to 400 AD, Roman Empire was flourished in Roman city-states, what are called Roman city-states. So, Italian states are known as Roman city-states. Once upon a time, the total country or empire under controlled by the Italian Empire. that is known as Roman Empire. Italy capital Rome is there. So the king or the queen, which is control the entire all types of surrounding places or surrounding city states, controlled from Rome. So that's why it is called Roman Empire. And it is a capital of Italy also. Several small states are there. City state means what that is? City states means lowest population. It is look like a city, but it is treated as a one big nation. So those are all surrounding nations controlled by the Roman Empire. What are the several city states? Number 1, Sicily, Naples, Corsica, Florence, Athens. These are all controlled by, and Rome also, controlled by Roman Empire. But such empire was very famous. Why? Because lot of nations making relations, foreign relations and trade and cultural relations with the Roman Empire. So once upon a time, Alexandria, very famous place because it is a port area and there is a lot of trade relations, trade connections are there between Roman areas and Roman city states and entire other world. For example, from Alexandria to up to China, there must be a silk route. So Europeans purchased silk from China and they built silk route. So like that, some Arabians will come and they purchase what that is silk. And some Europeans come to India and they purchase ilachi and fragrance items, ilachi, clove, such type of. They doesn't know pepper and other material. So sometimes they will purchase not only these things, they purchase remain material which is not available in their nations. At the same time, Indians also purchase the cosmetic items from the Arabia and other technical items or mission items from European states. So that's why there is a lot of relation between Roman Empire and other world nations. So just now I said just now there must be a silk route which is constructed between China and European states, I said, and one is flourished very well. The place name is called Alexandria. This is a port area and ships traveled from Alexandria to Asia and Central Asia and other nations. So after decline of Roman Empire after 400 AD, gradually the Roman Empire was declined. The Roman Empire when declined, then when others came to other empires came to Europe, then what happens? Then knowledge come out from the books. So when Constantinople was occupied by Turush, then knowledge was flourished. So before discussing all the things, first of all, we discuss about ancient period. Ancient period is blind beliefs period, and medieval period. Medieval period means from blind beliefs to changing the culture. What is the attitude of and changing the attitude of a common man? So that we discuss it here. That is in medieval period. And afterwards modern period. Modern period means knowing knowledge, scientific attitude, and thinking capacity, and reading, literature, everything. It means books reading and knowing the facts, reals. Real means what real is ration. The ration they will believe. So, such type of things. వాస్తవమైనదే నిజమైనదే నమ్మే యుగం ఏంటిది అది అంటే మోడర్న్ పీరియడ్. మనం 1300 సంవత్సరం దగ్గర నుంచి 1800 సంవత్సరం ఈ మధ్యలో జరిగిన అనేక రకాల మార్పులన్నింటినీ కూడా మనం యూరోపియన్ చరిత్రలో మనం చదువుకోబోతున్నాం. అవే ఇప్పుడు మనం మొదలు పెట్టబోతున్నాం. ఏమేమి మార్పులు వచ్చినాయి ఇప్పుడు చెప్తాను. ఏమేమి మార్పులు వచ్చినాయి. ఇంతకుముందు గుడ్డిగా నమ్మేవాళ్ళు ఎటువంటి ఆచార సాంప్రదాయాలకే ఎక్కువగా ప్రాధాన్యత ఇచ్చి ఎటువంటి పద్ధతులను నమ్మాలి, ఎటువంటి పద్ధతులను నమ్మకూడదో తెలియని పరిస్థితిలో ఉండేవారు. ఎప్పుడు వరకు? ఫ్రమ్ 400 AD టు 1300 AD వరకు దాదాపు చాలా గుడ్డి నమ్మకాల మీద మాత్రమే ఆధారపడి ఉండే కాలం అది. 400 టు 1300 మధ్య. అయితే ఈ మధ్యలో ఏం జరిగింది? 1453, ఇది మనం అందరం బాగా గుర్తుపెట్టుకోవాల్సింది. 1453 AD. What is the thing was happened? Turusk attacked on Constantinople. Then all scholars, all philosophers, all sophists, they disappeared, escaped from the Roman Empire and settled in different places. When they are escaped from their own places, at that time they carry a lot of material. What are the material? Documents, different types of documents, books of philosophers, ancient books, and religious books. Number of things they carried afterwards. They observed the books. Then what is the real? They know that. Up to that, the people blindly believe what the religious heads said. So that is. So in this first part, we are going to discuss the final thing is Renaissance. Renaissance means in 14th century. What is meant by 14th century? You know, 14th means 14th century. 14th century means 1300 to 1301 to 1400. This is known as 14th century. In this 14th century, number of innovations, number of technical progress, number of inventions, it's called inventions, innovations, which is started, and knowledge, thinking capacity, the mind power was improved. Up to that, there is no thinking capacity of human being in the Europe. They are ready to think what is what. Is there any real thing? Is there any fact? What they believe that is real or wrong? So that's they observed. Afterwards, what the real they followed. So here in the Renaissance started in 14th century in Europe. Culture was changed. Culture means what type of culture? Blind beliefs. They forgot what the real they are ready to believe. That is. So Renaissance. So Swiss scholar Jacob Burckhardt wrote the civilization of the Renaissance in Italy. ఇటలీలో ఎటువంటి మార్పులు వచ్చాయి, ఎలాంటి చేంజెస్ వచ్చాయి అంటే 400 years నుంచి 1300 years వరకు ఎట్లా గుడ్డిగా ఉన్నారు, ఆ గుడ్డితనం పోయి ఎలా చూపు అంటే విజన్ ఉండాలంటే నిజాలు వాస్తవాలు ఏమున్నాయి, కళ్ళకు కట్టినట్లు కనిపించే అంశాలు ఏమున్నాయి అవన్నీ కూడా చూడటం జరిగింది. అందుకనే ఇక్కడ ప్రీ మోడర్న్ పీరియడ్ని 1300 AD నుంచి 1800 వరకు ఉన్న ఆ పీరియడ్ మొత్తం కూడా మనం యూరోప్లో ఏ దేశాల్లో ఏమేమి జరిగిందో మొత్తం అన్ని అంశాలని మనం ఈరోజు చదువుకోబోతున్నాం. సో రినైజెన్స్ జాకబ్ బర్గ్హార్ట్ అనే వ్యక్తి రాశాడు. ఏం రాశాడు? ద సివిలైజేషన్ ఆఫ్ ద రినైజెన్స్ ఇన్ ఇటలీ. ఇటలీలో సివిలైజేషన్ ఎలా జరిగింది రాశాడు. అది చదివిన తర్వాత నెక్స్ట్ వన్, వాట్ ఈస్ చర్చ్? that the topic will be discussed later. What is called church and what is called church activities. So at the time of 1300 or 400 to 1300 and 1300 to 1800, what are the activities of the church we will discuss later in next part.